Hey, welcome to this latest behind the scenes look at Shrimp of the House Recall. We're in part 4, page 2. This is page 2. I was splitting this up with sister-in-law, and I think I started on part 3 of sister-in-law. Oh my god. But it's sort of in this past week, I'm going through another phase where I'm sort of not getting enough sleep. It's not that I'm full insomnia here. It's one of those things where like I said, you're not getting. You're kind of getting less sleep than you need, just a little bit each night, and over time it starts to build up. And I think in this past week, it's been one of those situations where you kind of can't catch up, but your head is so out of it. And what am I looking for here? Here we go. Sideways. Sort of get more of comparison shot going sideways, but at the same time, like the perspective doesn't really help it. So that's what we want to do. Let's go render that. Grab this one, I think. So the idea is, like with the longer rendering times on the images with sister-in-law, it's really been messing with my head this week. Um, Now that I'm thinking, what the heck did he finish on? Danny told everyone, didn't he? He promised he wouldn't. Okay. Oops, gotta catch that. No, his dad. No, we're in your room. And it's sort of, it's sort of on top of that, I just have this weird feeling that I need to finish this one. Whoops. Copy, edit, paste as. I almost feel like I'm abandoning sister-in-law. I don't really want to. I don't plan to be honest. But I think there's something in the back of my head that just says, get this one done. And that's not to say I plan to rush it or anything. Save. Where are we? There we go. Centered. I'm going to cut this one here. So it's kind of the idea is while it's sort of everybody else is dealing with Lair, with the possibility that Alex is going to head off to the military. He's already moved on to the next idea. Edit, we will paste as new layer. I mean, it's weird because I don't want to fall into that sort of cliche of, that you see in a lot of Vietnam era movies and TV shows where it's like, oh no, his draft came up, he's going off to war, he's never coming back. Because not to diminish it or anything, but like really like as much as we've been sitting and watching sort of the news of our troops dying in like Afghanistan and Iraq, like the death rates are really nothing like what you would have seen in previous wars. And not to diminish it, but I don't think you're looking at a family member going into the service today thinking to yourself, they're going to get killed overseas, they're not going to, you never see them again, blah, blah, blah. Like you, like you saw in, like I said, a lot of movies and TV shows out of that time. It's I think today you're probably a lot more supportive of it, especially when like today it's a volunteer military. So people are going in, are making the choice to go in. And plus, too, it's like the backstory is they did have an uncle who went, at sort of the height of it all and came back fine. So it's in kind of my head. In theory, they should just be looking at it normally as like, oh, he's following, he's gonna follow our uncle into. Wait. It's more of I think it's more along the lines that his decision short sort of feel feeds into this idea that he's a failure, that he's a disappointment. He's supposed to go off to college, and how did he find out? Never mind. I think um, it's not so much that the decision is a disappointment to everyone, but I think the idea is like David's the one that's disappointed. Jackson is looking at it from that point of view that their dad wanted him to go into the military. I mean, into college. He's disappointed at he's disappointed at the possibility that it won't happen, and then his going into the military sort of is fuel to that. Kind of validates that he's not going to college. So it's kind of Jackson is picking up on that, where he's already um, angry, mad at their father. Here we go. right here. Oops, let's bring it over. Okay. Select none. But he's already it's like it's Danny shrink. The idea is Danny sort of already planted another idea in his head. So while everybody is focusing on the possibility that he's not going to college, going into the military instead, Alex has already moved on to the next idea. Um, fit to okay. So it's the idea is that he's been is it all along he's been running this video channel online, um, presumably he's been filming his workouts and running like a training style inspirational channel. And there's always been some back and forth as to how much he's really making off of it. Fit to excuse me. It's sort of I think it's been hinted that he's making a lot of money off this channel, but I think in Showtime he kind of mentions that he's not making as much as he lets their father believe. I think the idea in my head right now is he's been making enough. Oh, hold on. Um, he's been basically making enough to sort of buy his weights, buy his supplements, um, buy his own food, so that he can control his diet instead of being at like the mercy of whatever his parents are buying. Um, I guess him it's and beyond that, he's probably only been able to save a couple of bucks. And the idea is his video channel is doing well, but it's not making him rich. It's basically just giving him a little extra spending money. So the idea is, thanks to Danny mentioning that his father is making a living blogging, he's got the idea that he can turn the video channel into a similar endeavor. But there's sort of one difference is kind of David has sort of the know-how to kind of leverage the advertising space on his blog. Whereas Alex is sort of like being younger at his age, his experience is pretty much you just make the content, put it up, and let it go on autopilot. You know, he thinks that it's more of a passive approach, where David, in theory, um, I think this chair is already unparented. No, here it is. I just want to get this chair out of the way. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we gotta come back a little bit. There we go. Um, hmm. Oh, oops. Let me see. Oops, I guess Jackson doesn't have a hairy chest, so we shouldn't have put that one on. Let's see. Okay, so I think I got it right now. Okay, let's see. Sweet favorites. Go perspective view. Because I think what I want to do is have David kind of stalking and spying. Oops. David. So we're going to put him in the background. Oops. Let's see. Oh, so we're just going to maneuver him a little bit. There we go. Paste as. So last. There we go. I mean, it's like on one hand here, I could really milk the the news that he was going to join the military. I could have Aiden, Aiden hanging around, using it as like another reason to hero worship his brother. But it's on another hand, I don't want to get bogged down. I don't want the story to get bogged down in that one point, because then it gets weird that you're not devoting equal time to the other decisions. And two, I really do have a few sort of some updates with maybe Allison stories that they need to get sprinkled in here and there. So it's while Alex seems to be drawing the central focus of this story, I don't want the other subplots getting lost in this. It has layers. Scale that 133. Let's see. I'm going to cut this one wide. And it's going to come up just a little. Okay. I want to select none, so select invert, edit, cut, and select none. Now we'll select none. It looks good, so we'll merge it down. So, what do you want to tell me? The dad didn't already tell everybody last night. Let's see. So what I'm going to do here is to get the idea that he's filming. We're going to shoot these twice. Let's go furniture, Alex room. Let's find the monitor. Okay, monitor. Let's grab perspective view. Focus on the monitor. Let's zoom in. Uh-huh. Hmm. I might cheat this just a little. I don't really want that to be the shot on the screen. Hmm. No. Okay. Then I'm gonna select the camera, active view, set, grab camera 2, and we're gonna render this one. How about um, second screen. I'll render that one. So what I'm going to do in this scene is anytime the computer is in the shot, we'll render a shot from the purported view camera, and there's really no view camera in the scene, actually. I mean, there's no actual camera in the scene, so we're just going to pretend it's on the monitor, just like on the laptop. And then we're going to apply this picture to the monitor, and then take the wide shot. This is going to be a little bit of work, but you'll see. I think it was also hinted in Showtime. I think I mentioned it in Showtime that that he was filming his workouts with Jackson for a separate series. The idea being that he's going to show he's showing his viewers where he takes everything he's been learning, or he's been learning, teaching, talking about whatever on his own training, and applying it to somebody else, i.e., his brother. So it's the silly idea here that's going to be in this scene is that in order to grow his viewership, he's going to really he's going to sort of ramp up the exploitation of that. Oh, there's my picture. Okay, so see. Let's go to camera. Let's see, there's my camera. I should have. Oh, shoot. I should have. Yeah, I'm such an empty. Hold on here. See, we put it there. We can pretend it's the view cam. Hold on. If I go 0. Yeah, shoot. That would have been a good shot. Perspective. See if we just kind of pretend the camera is. Yeah, I'm going to delete this and start over. Okay, let's render that one. So I'm going to pause for the minute and come back when that's rendered. Okay, so I've got the first picture. What I'm going to do now, let's grab the monitor, expand, and I think this first one is the monitor. So I'm going to go browse, screen, Okay. So I can't move him. So shoot, this isn't 10, is it? This is supposed to be. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'll undo that one. Let's grab you. So, what do you want to tell me that Dad didn't already tell everybody last night? Not joining the Marines. I was only thinking about it. But there is another angle to this that I do kind of want to talk about, or have them talk about, or put on the page, or whatever you want to call it. And that's the recurring theme around Jackson wanting a room separate from Aiden. The idea of Alex goes into the Marines, and that sort of frees Jackson up for stealing the room. Um, I'm not going to make it a big deal here. Just that I want to mention it, just that I want to address it. Hmm. Oh, there's my picture. See, and now the monitor has the image on it. Um, open as layers. I mean, in theory, I could do the same thing with mirrors so that the mirrors reflect in here. But, whoops, layer skill. I just chalk that up to laziness. Plus, the thing about the mirrors is that the reflection isn't straight on. It's sort of the calculated. It's sort of this angled shot. The reflection in the mirror is sort of an angle of wherever the camera is. So if I were to go through the trouble, I'd have to make sure that the camera on the mirror was sort of pointed in a way that would properly reflect from whatever I was looking at. It would end up being a headache. Plus, two, then they wouldn't be living in a vampire universe where everything is a vampire and doesn't reflect in the mirror. They live in a vampire house with vampire furniture. Let's see if I got that. Yep. Okay. Delete the keys on those. The doors. So what we're gonna do is leave the door ajar, make it look like he didn't close the door all the way, and that gives David a peephole, so to speak. Whoops. Come on, grab the. There we go. Come on, there we go. Oops, on the head, not the arm. Um, I don't think. Okay, that's a little more subtle. I need mouth narrow, but the thing is, with these characters, I was using some of the head properties to change the shapes of the heads and faces. So I hid them all at some point, so I wouldn't go messing with them. But then, like here, I want mouth narrow, even though the shape of his face is dependent on it. Oh, I was gonna have him say, "Oh, like, I'm not joining the Marines. I was only thinking about it." Oh, but I think I'm gonna go with like a "You're not." What? Or really? Something a little longer than O. Really? Because he's short one word, usually like 2 or 3 letter, are obnoxious when it comes to the word bubble. It's reshaping the word bubble because it gets kind of hard shaping it with such a wide tail. Let's see. Um, seems like these pictures are taking longer to render than usual. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just getting faster on setting up the text. Here we go. Save. Scale 34. And I talked about getting bogged down in this. Like all of a sudden, I'm feeling like it's getting bogged down anyway. Cut just a little too much off, so I'll just slide it over to fix it. Okay, let's save file save. Uh, let's go delete. Just delete that one. I still have all the hidden. Oh my god, stop that. Selected. Almost have the fingers set. Yeah, that's why. That's why the hand doesn't look right. And since I'm not gonna actually, let's rotate him so he's not. Since I'm not gonna have the monitor. Since I'm not gonna have the monitor in this shot, I don't need to double up the image. Edit, paste as new layer. I really hope to get my room after you're done. Okay. Save that one. Let's go file. Open as layers. Number 12, layer. Scale to 34. See, the monitor is off on this one, so I don't need to shoot it. Yes, let's save. Image, flatten, file, export, enter, export. Dump all these in there, grab you, page 2. No, it was Dad. He was going on about how you're going to ruin your life while you and Danny were in your room. How do you find out? Never mind. Change to meet me in my room. I'll tell you then. So, what do you want to tell me that Dad didn't already tell everybody last night? I'm not joining the Marines. I was only thinking about it. Really? You don't sound so disappointed. I know you were only hoping to get my room after I'm gone. You know, I'm going to make one change. It's Control Z, I'm going to change only to just. Okay, so file, save, image, flatten, and then export to JPEG 2. And that is page 2 in part 4 of Recall. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I wasn't very talkative toward the second half there, but I hope you got something out of it, and I will see you next time.